on the News Channel 5 network. This is Open Line.
Well, good evening and welcome into Open Line. I'm Chuck Long, glad to be along with you for the next hour. Really excited about tonight's show. As always, anytime our guest is here for this next hour, it becomes a very busy and a very intriguing hour. Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm is here.
Yeah,
it's always good to have you,
Chuck.
Kevin.
Thank
I tell you, looking sharp as always. You know, Kevin said this many, many times, but when you're here, there's so many different questions that people have.
Wow, I know.
And I am always amazed at the breadth that you're able to, you know, explore.
It even kind of shocks me sometimes too. You know, I reflect on it coming up and I reflect on it going back. And you know, the goal is to always be able to share some information. Vince Lombardi once said, he said, learn your craft well and give it away for the rest of your life. And I pondered that. And so, yeah, I do have a lot of knowledge and I like to share it. Take some anxiety off the viewing audience. It'll help them spark their mind and then protect your family.
Absolutely.
Protect your friends.
So not only is it informative, it really helps a lot of people too.
Absolutely.
And we know when you're on, the phones get really busy because, I mean, there's a number of questions that people have out there. One of the things that I always like is just I picture myself being out there sitting watching and I'm thinking there's so many questions that I have.
I'd like to ask him this. And you know, it's great because I always love it when people stop me out. I get stopped when I'm out and about and they say, can I ask you a question? I say, sure. And some people say it's annoying, but it's really not to me. It's really my calling and I enjoy it and I love this show.
Well, I tell you, the Kennedy Law Firm, you guys have been in business for years and years and years, and it's because you do what you do and you do it well. And you help serve the people. And I know a lot of times it always feels like us against them, but you know, that's what happens a lot of times.
Come on now, Chuck. When you're dealing and they come against you, how can you evaluate any other way than it's them against us? And so we partner with people, we protect people, and we never break the rules. We're not interested in breaking the rules. We are interested in understanding the rules. And you know, Abraham Lincoln once said there's two kinds of lawyers. He said there's the lawyers that know the law and there's the lawyers that know how to get around it. And if I knew that there was a trap, I'd say, Chuck, don't go down there. Chuck, have somebody with you. Chuck, we better read this policy before you make this recorded statement. And all that's just good, sound, legal advice that everyone should know. But it's good to be reminded.
Right.
And if you had a problem, I want you to talk. If I had a problem, I want to talk. And that's why we have so many people at the Kennedy Law Firm. I never really settle on one opinion hardly. I like several opinions.
Well, and you've got a variety of opinions, which really helps too. I mean, whether it's we get calls on criminal law, personal injury, injured in a car wreck, injured on the job, family bankruptcy, family law, estates, wills. I was just looking at listing some of the things that I know we hear about, people have questions about, because you sit home a lot of times and you think, well, I don't know if it's going to cost a lot to go see the lawyer.
Come on,
what am I going to ask? Yeah, you can ask right here. This is your forum.
It's good. And you know, the truth is everybody's family and neighborhood is affected through divorce. Everyone has a bankruptcy. You say, hey, well, I loaned them the money. Here's Kevin. Here's the check. Can I get my money back? Or I gave a power of attorney, Kevin. I didn't think they were going to hit my bank account. I never dreamed that. And so we hear that every week.
Well, I'll tell you, the number's on your screen. It's 737, of course, 615-737-7587. That's the number to call if you have a question, if you have a comment. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's for a friend, maybe it's for some other family member that you've been talking about some of the situations that come up. I know a lot of times people, they don't even know where to start because especially if they're fighting, and this is not putting hospitals down or big business or anything like that, but a lot of times if something were to happen when you were in the hospital and it goes against you, a lot of times people just feel like, oh, well, there's no way I could even fight that.
Absolutely. And one of the common, when you bring this up, a lot of people say, well, you know, I thought I was having a heart attack, so they took me to this hospital, they treated me, and they asked, did I have insurance? Yes, and they took it. And then you get a $80,000 bill. You said, well, my insurance. Well, guess what, Chuck? That was outside the network.
Right.
Wow, 80,000, that is a lifelong problem for the vast majority of the people. And so what can you do? Do you just give up? Do you mortgage your home? No. You seek some legal advice, and there's always options. I want to make that real clear. No matter what you're facing, there's always options. And you know, my brother's a Christian. We're coming up on the 4th of July, and he sings this song, "When there seems to be no way, God will make a way." And truly, I've seen those miracles. And how do you explain them, Chuck?
Right.
When there's no legal way, but yet we've gotten out of this. All you can do is say, praise the Lord.
Well, and I tell you, too, when you've got the legal advice, that's just such a huge help, because
and it's a
I don't know what I should know. You do.
Yeah, and if you had that, I'd say, okay, Chuck, you can rest easy tonight. Or if there was a I said, well, get them just to write on a yellow piece of paper. This is our understanding. And you say, Kev, I got it. And I said, did you get it signed? Kevin, I got it signed. I said, well, we'll dance. We'll sleep good tonight. I know what to do tomorrow.
There you go. Well, we're going to start the dance right now. Calls are already coming in. We've got Amanda. She is on the line with us. Amanda, good evening, and welcome to the show. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes, I'd like to know if there's anything being done within the legal community to, if, you know, everybody's afraid of liability issues, getting sued and so forth, and if there's anything that is being done to rectify some of the situations. And let me give you a specific example. You know, there's so much now. I read where there's a grant now that's been given, I guess through legal aid, although you can have resources and take advantage of this if you're a senior. You may know what I'm talking about with that. But even that grant is, and there's something called senior ride lash. In other words, as people get older, they either lose people that, you know, have been able to help them out in the past with transportation or whatever. And what's going on in the medical community now is that if you're under anesthesia, you have to have somebody there, even if it's just a screening, that will stay with you the whole time that you're in the hospital. Now, I live right across the street from a hospital, and I did that by choice because as an independent person, I wanted to be able to do what I've done in times past, which is to go over there, walk over to the hospital, take all my magazines and books with me, and if they don't want to release me for 4 hours after the surgery or the screening, then I've got my material to read. Well, they won't do that anymore because now they're not independent. They can't do that. They're a part of a larger practice. But by the same token, if you're lucky enough to have somebody there, they don't sign anything. You sign something saying, I won't drive for 24 hours or whatever. And, you know, the older you get, like when you're 90 years old, if you still have 90-year-old friends, they won't be in a position to safely drive you anywhere.
Well, you make some really good points. And yes, every business, the legal departments of the hospitals, both my sons are doctors, they are all over it. They're wanting you to sign these liability because there is so much risk. And again, if they released you too soon and there's an automobile accident, they're going to go toward the deep pockets because the doctors and the hospitals have insurance policies. So you bring up some one food for thought that, you know, representing people in malpractice cases for over 30 years. One of the things that I've learned, if you or your family member has a problem, go to the hospital and stay with them. There's so many things that could be prevented if you just had another set of ears and another set of eyes and could prevent and help divert off. I really like, you know, I heard my son, he said it's prevention, prevention, prevention. In the legal profession, there's a lot of that too. Prevention, prevention. You make some good points, but that's one that I'd love to share with everyone. You know, say, well, we've got him in the hospital, we're going, we can't take off work. It's really important.
Absolutely. And Amanda, we appreciate the call.
Thank you,
and as
Amanda.
Kevin said, absolutely. You made some great points, and that's the kind of things that we're able to share with the entire audience as they're watching.
For everyone.
Absolutely. We're going right back to the lines. We do appreciate you calling in. We're going to Kaylee right now. Kaylee, good evening. And do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yeah, I actually have both. I just wanted to say, well, hello, Mr. Kennedy.
Hello. I'm glad to talk to you.
Yeah, I work with a lot of people in a big office, and I've heard your name a lot around the office. I've had a lot of coworkers use you for a variety of different things, from divorce to wills and car accidents and everything like that.
Wow, you're right on my team. I love hearing from you today. God bless you.
I'm really glad you're doing this because I do have a question, actually. I had a friend that was in a pretty serious car accident earlier this week, actually, and she was the passenger, and she broke her arm. She's going to be out of work for a little bit, but she's kind of scared to do anything because she doesn't want her friend that was driving.
Yes. Yes.
So is the driver liable, or would it be the driver of the other car?
Okay, good point. Thank you so much. Appreciate those comments, and I love to hear that. We want to help people. If Chuck and I are riding in the car, and Chuck is riding with me, I'm driving, the owner of the car and the driver is responsible for his accident. Now, someone could have run in the back end of us, as what it sounds like here. They are liable. But what do you do, Chuck, when those guys don't have any insurance? And I have uninsured motorist on my car. Well, Chuck, you've got $200,000 in medical bills. You say, Kev, we're good friends. What are we going to do? So I want you to understand the rules. The rules are, if it's my car and I'm driving, I'm responsible for you. Now, they are primarily responsible because of that, and they're the tortfeasors, but sometimes there's no money. So again, I like to tell people, you know, all these guys say, we're going to load up, Chuck's going to drive, all of us are going to ride together, but if there's a car wreck, they're going to hold Chuck responsible for that whole group. So moms and dads, if you got some kids, those cars are in your names, think real long and hard before you let them all load up and drive under your insurance.
All right, great to know. So we do appreciate the call, Kaylee, and again, great information that we're able to share with everyone.
Yes.
All right, the line's busy right now. We're going to them again. Wayne is on the line with us. Wayne, good evening. Do you have a question or comment for Kevin from the Kennedy Law Firm?
Yeah, good evening. I just want to say that Mr. Kennedy, on the scale of 1 to 10, he's 100.
Well, man, I don't know a calculator like that, but I love to hear that. That is so nice, and thank you. You know, we need to encourage one another. Chuck is one of the hottest commentators I've ever been in all my 30 years on the TV.
Well, you're kind.
But it's true, and I appreciate comments that you share, and that sparks us on to try to do more and help more.
Now, can I ask you a quick question?
Hit it. We're going for it.
Okay. I hear on TV this company that advertises if you have a current civil case pending in court, they'll basically help you with everyday expenses, and if you lose the case, you don't have to pay it back.
Yes. And
the question is, how can somebody take a case if they don't know they're going to win it?
Come on.
When they do, how do they recoup the money they paid out in expenses?
Well, there are companies out there that do that, and they're gambling. They've got lawyers that are going to evaluate this case, and they say, okay, we've got liability insurance of $300,000. You've got medical bills of $100,000. Okay, we will advance you X amount of dollars. We believe it's good, and so it is a calculated risk on those people to loan that money, and so really they're putting a lien on your lawsuit, and when you settle, then you could pay that back. So they're going to make interest, and it's just a creative way of doing business. So there you have it.
All right, well, Wayne, we appreciate the call, the compliments to Kevin.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, if you are just tuning in, this is Ask an Attorney on Open Line. This is your chance to ask any legal questions that you may have free of charge, which is always nice.
Come on.
And so just give us a call. You see the number on your screen, 737-7587. We go back to the phones right now. Valerie, thanks for your patience. And do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes,
okay, well, go ahead, Valerie.
I was just wanting to know, because I'm not very good with stuff, and I put stuff off too, but like I had a home warranty, and I bought this house, and a home inspector said that it was, that the unit was working to plan on buying another one where my heat went out, right? So I filed a claim, so they denied it. Well, just not too long ago, my air went out, and then they denied that, and then they said that it was supposed to be in working proper condition. I said it was in working proper condition the first time y'all denied me.
Yes.
So I'm wondering what I could do as far as, with the lawyer, because I feel like that they're trying not to pay for it, like I've been paying on it for 2 years.
Well, the truth is, many times these companies will make representations that we're going to cover this, and then when you make your claim, they deny it. That's how they make their profits. And there's unscrupulous individuals that are in business. That's one you should turn over to Tennessee Consumer Affairs. That's one that you ought to file with the Better Business Bureau. And then you have to evaluate, talking to a lawyer, how much is this unit going to cost to fix? You're under an obligation to mitigate your damages. That means if If you just needed Freon, go get the Freon, and you can still make a claim. You can bring a small claims in general sessions and sue the company. Just get in front of the judge and say, Judge, here's our contract. They didn't honor it. I won't. And then there's a provision sometimes that you get treble damages. What does that mean? That means you get 3 times. So if it was a $2,000 bill, they owe you $6,000. And we have that in Tennessee on your insurance likewise. You make a claim, your insurance, it's called a bad faith clause. If they don't pay, you say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. If you don't pay it, I'm going to throw a bad faith clause on you, and you're facing treble damages. So that's where a lawyer can just advance just a little bit so he can explain their rights. And the vast majority of sophisticated business people said, he's right. Let's negotiate the claim and pay it.
All right. We do appreciate the call, Valerie, and again, learned a lot.
We learned a lot.
That's it. Absolutely. And that's what I think everybody's able to do when you get, exactly. We do have a lot of folks on the line right now, but we do need to take a short break. You're watching Open Line. It's Ask an Attorney. When we come back, we'll take more of your calls. Come on back with us.
Right back.